Hello friends. This is Marvel Fiction. How are you all? So in this video, we will see, what if X-Men become the Overpowered Gurdian of Marvel-verse? But before we start, if you want more amazing stuff like this, then be sure to subscribe to our channel and like this video. Also, if possible, share this video with your friends. Now without wasting any more time, let's begin the story. The time. No time. The place. Nowhere. All that we can see is an expanse of white nothingness. From the sky we hear a shout gradually getting louder. The shouts cease as the person that is shouting hits the ground with a thump. The figure is clad in a red and black bodysuit that is ridden with holes. "Okay," the figure says, dusting himself off. "I'm pretty sure that we're not in Kansas anymore." This is our first protagonist, Wade T. Wilson, also known as Deadpool. Wade's attention is caught by another voice shouting "It falls from the sky." This time it's a woman. No ordinary woman either. That much as we can see as she gets up off the floor. "Bloody hell," she moans. This is our second protagonist, the former ex-woman known as Elizabeth, Betsy, Braddock or Psylocke. She looks at her companion and curses to herself. "Oh bugger. Just when I thought my life couldn't get any worse, I get stuck in the afterlife with Deadpool. I always did like a woman that could talk dirty." Deadpool smirks lecherously. "Touch me and I'll shove my psi blade so far up your ass, you'll be spitting psychic energy." "Are you coming onto me?" Deadpool asks. Psylocke throws up her arms in disgust and storms off. "Wait for me." Deadpool yells after her. "I don't like it here, it's quiet and scary." "Yeah sure. Fine. Whatever," Psylocke mutters. After several hours, or minutes, or days, you can never tell when you're stuck in a realm of nothing. Of walking, Deadpool and Psylocke find themselves in front of a huge table. There are 3 seats around the table and it's also laid out with loads of food. "Great." Deadpool grins. "Food? I'm starved." He starts to stuff himself with potato chips and pizza. "Don't you want some?" he asks with a mouthful of pepperoni. Betsy just shrugs and picks up a slice of pizza. Before she can even take a bite, the two of them are shook by what sounds like a thunderclap. "Wait a cotton pickin' second," Deadpool says. "How can there be thunder when there's no sky to have clouds in?" "That would be me." A voice booms behind them. They both spin around at the noise. "God," Deadpool squeaks. "Is that you? If this is about me not going to church, it's just that I've been meaning to, but I've been kinda busy with the being dead and all." "I'm not God," the voice booms. "Merely a messenger." "What do you want?" Betsy asks the disembodied voice. "I require you to participate in a sacred quest, Elizabeth Braddock and Wade Wilson." "Oh goody." Deadpool mutters sarcastically under his breath. "A quest, that's always fun. Both of you must travel to the mortal realm and procure a sacred item." "What scared item?" Betsy asks. "We're kind of out on a limb here, being dead and all. I cannot tell you the item's identity yet." The voice booms. "Travel first to the mortal realm and a contact will contact you there." "Great," Betsy mutters. "What have we got to lose?" "Only our lives, cute buns." Deadpool leers, giving Betsy a swift slap on the butt, causing the purple-haired telepath to glare daggers at him. "You must go." The voice booms. "The time for action is upon us." And with those words, Deadpool and Psylocke are gone. A random back alley. Downtown Manhattan. A stray cat is rummaging through the garbage for food. There is a flask of light in the sky and the cat yowls in fright, leaping out of a dumpster and running off down the alley. Psylocke lands perfectly on her feet. Deadpool isn't so lucky. He lands in the dumpster with a metallic clang. "Ow," he mutters, spitting out a rotten fish head. "Remind me to sue our travel agent." Psylocke just ignores him and sets off down the street. "How are we supposed to know what this bloody contact looks like?" Betsy mutters. Wade Wilson and Betsy Braddock, our newly resurrected heroes, are walking down the street. As usual, Deadpool is being an ass. "Ooh-ee-oo-ah-ah ting tang walla walla bing bang. Ooh-ee-oo-ah-ah ting tang walla." "For God's sake, Deadpool," Betsy sighs. "Shut up. I'm only singing cute buns." He answers her. "Well don't. And don't call me cute buns." "Well you are." "Shut up." The two of them stop outside a bar. "I think this is the place we're supposed to meet our contact," Betsy says. How can you tell? Women's intuition, I guess. We can't go in like this, Deadpool says. We'll have to come up with a disguise. No, we won't, you idiot, Betsy snaps. I'm a telepath, I'll just cloud their senses. Show off, Deadpool mutters. They walk in the bar. After looking around for a bit, Betsy soon sees a familiar face. Amigod. She gasps, pointing to a tall, muscular man sitting at a booth. That's Peter Rasputin, Colossus. Didn't he sacrifice himself to cure the legacy virus? Deadpool asks. Yes. Betsy answers him. If he's dead, he must be the contact. The two of them walk up to Peter. Hey there, stranger, Betsy says, creeping behind him. Peter jumps up with a start. Betsy Braddock. He gasps. It is good to see you, and Deadpool too. Really? Wade asks. No, I'm lying, Peter smirks. I gather that you're our contact, Betsy says to him. Yes, I am. He answers. I was asked to give you this, he says, handing Betsy an envelope. She opens it and shows Wade the photo inside. That's some random sacred object. Wade gasps, looking at the random sacred object's shininess. What is it? It is the staff of Sekhmet. Peter answers. It is an ancient Egyptian war staff. It is supposed to have mystical powers. Such as? Betsy asks. Oh, the usual stuff. Peter answers. Immortality, enormous power. Where can we find it? Wade asks. Castle Doom. Peter answers again. Oh bugger. Betsy curses. You mean Dr. Doom's castle in Latveria? The one and only. Looks like we've got an appointment with a doctor, cute buns, Wade says. Betsy glares at Wade through narrowed eyes. Don't call me cute buns, she hisses. Did I tell you that you're cut when you're angry? Wade asks with a lecherous grin. I hate you. A lot. You know you like it. It is an unusually quiet day in the small Eastern European country of Latveria. Funnily enough, all the days in Latveria have been quiet since Dr. Doom's disappearance. No noisy battles with miscellaneous superpowered heroes, nothing. Well, until Toady, that is. The townsfolk of Doomstadt, Latveria's capital, look up from their everyday business as the sky is illuminated by a flash of light nearby Castle Doom, the former home of Victor von Doom, the former ruler of Latveria. As the light recedes, the townsfolk resume their everyday business. Occurrences such as this are commonplace in Latveria, whether it's a random would-be dictator trying to usurp Doom or another battle between Doom and the Fantastic Four. The hills nearby Castle Doom, two figures step out of the receding light. They are, of course, our heroes, Deadpool and Psylocke. I never get tired of that, Deadpool moans, clutching his stomach. Don't be such a pansy, Deadpool. Psylocke sighs. This must be our destination, she finishes. Gee. Deadpool quips. What gave you that idea? The huge castle or the sign saying, Welcome to Latveria. Cosmic radiation-powered superheroes get in free. Psylocke just shakes her head and walks towards the castle. White Osek bets. Deadpool calls after her. We can't just waltz straight in. Doom's probably got some bobby traps laying about. Why don't you teleport us in, smart ass? I think I might just do that, cute buns. Deadpool smirks. How many times do I have to tell you? Betsy hisses. Don't call me. The purple-haired telepath is unable to finish her sentence as they are enveloped by another flash of light. Inside Castle Doom there is another flash of light and Wade and Betsy step out. Cute buns. Thank you for noticing. Wade smirks again. I hate you, a lot. Betsy sighs. Where are we anyway? Wade asks. Betsy looks around at all the high-tech doodads. It looks like we're in Doom's private lab. Right. Wade answers her. The staff thingy wouldn't be in here, would it? I don't know. Betsy says sarcastically. What do you think that is? She finishes, pointing to a shining staff-type object hanging on the wall. By George, the first think we've got it, Deadpool says, grabbing the staff. No, wait, Betsy yells. Don't grab it, there could be alarms. Sure enough, the quiet is split by a series of alarms going off. Oops. Teleport us out of here, Betsy yells, before the Doombots get here. Like I haven't tried that. Deadpool yells back. My teleporter must have been short-circuited by that last teleport. Can't you fix it? Have you got a matter transporter spare? Deadpool asks. I thought not. A nearby wall explodes as several robots smash through. Cheese it! Deadpool yells, grabbing hold of Betsy's arm and ushering her along. A random corridor. Wade and Betsy stop to catch their breath. I think we lost them. Wade gasps. As if in answer, the wall beside him explodes outwards, knocking him to the floor. Deadpool. Betsy yells. I didn't think you cared. Wade grunts, getting up and unsheathing a sword. That is the last straw. He snarls. These robo-jerks are going down. He then throws the staff to Betsy and proceeds to hack the robots to pieces. Betsy stows the staff in her backpack and takes out a disintegrator ray, which she swiped from Doom's lab. She lets rip with several blasts, disintegrating several Doom bots. Deadpool yelps as his sword hand is blasted, causing him to drop the sword. You're gonna pay for that, you overgrown toaster ovens. He hisses. I'm gonna turn you all into Swiss cheese. He then takes out his twin Uzis and blasts away, laughing wildly. Bawahahaha. Die you robotic pices of poop, bawahaha. Deadpool. Betsy says. All the Doombots are down. Deadpool stops shooting and looks around at the wreckage, disembodied heads, pieces of torso, and all that. We ready to go? He asks casually. As long as there aren't any more bloody Doombots, Betsy sighs. Let us depart then. Deadpool smirks lecherously, before adding, cute buns. Don't call me cute buns, Betsy glares. What about why Betsy? I'm not even going to dignify that with answer. You know you like it. Betsy turns and glares at Deadpool. Listen here, you stupid little tosser. She spits. I don't like it and I will never like it. No need to be mean about it. Wade pouts. Tramp, he mutters. Wanker, harpy, bollock brain, stinky, stupid woman. Shut up, Betsy yells, running out of insults. No you, Deadpool yells back, also out of insults. Betsy just grabs Wade's head and kisses him passionately. Deadpool follows suit. After a couple of seconds, they stop for air. What was that? Betsy asks, not believing what happened. We just kissed. Deadpool smirks again. Was it good for you too? Betsy just shakes her head and walks off, outside Castle Doom. Deadpool finally catches up with Betsy. Wait up! He yells after her. He catches up with her and grabs her hand. Betsy pulls her hand away. Get off me, you idiot, she yells. Much to her amazement, Deadpool lets go. You just let go. Betsy says. I know. Deadpool also says. I'm kinda freaked out by these events too. Breaking into Castle Doom, stealing a random mystical doodad and then kissing a beautiful woman, not my typical workday. Do you think I'm beautiful? Betsy asks, slightly blushing. Hell yeah. Deadpool answers her. I've got eyes and I see that you are indeed a beautiful woman. Betsy blushes again and turns her head away, embarrassed. You're not just saying that so you can kiss me again, are you? Give me some credit, Wade says. You may question my integrity but don't question my lover of beautiful ladies. You're not so bad yourself. Betsy smiles, moving closer. Aren't you freaked out that I look like a giant scab? Deadpool asks. You're forgetting something. Betsy answers him. My last boyfriend had blue skin and wings. The two move in to kiss. Their lips hardly have time to brush against each other as they are lit up by another flash of light. Well done. A voice booms. You have found the staff of Sekhmet. It was nothing. Wade smirks. Just the fact that we almost got our butts fried. What do you want us to do with it now? Betsy asks. As if in answer, there is yet another flash of light and a figure steps out of it. Meet your new partner, Angelo Espinoza, also known as Skin. Hola everybody, Skin says. It's great to be back. Now all of you must place your hands on the staff. The voice booms. It then begins to chant in an unknown language. Deadpool, Psylocke and Skin listen in amazement. There is then a flash of light, knocking the three heroes off their feet. You have now been imbued by the staff's powers. Do you mean that we're immortal? Deadpool asks. The mysterious voice chuckles. Of course not. The staff's power does not work like that, Angelo Espinoza. You have been granted another chance at life and love with Jubilee. Wade Wilson. Your scars have now healed. And Elizabeth Braddock, instead of inhabiting the body of the assassin Kwannon, you have been granted your old body back. The three heroes look around in amazement. Deadpool takes off his mask and looks at his reflection in a nearby stream. Holy crap! He gasps, looking at his now healed face. My scars have gone. He picks Betsy up and twirls her around in happiness. My scars have healed. And I've got my old body back, Betsy smiles. And I've got another chance with Jubilee, Angelo also smiles. The three heroes give each other high fives. Farewell, my friends. The voice booms. Congratulations with your newfound vitality. I may call upon you again someday. Until then, farewell. And with that, the voice is gone. So what do you guys want to do next? Angelo asks. I don't know about you, but I always wanted my own detective agency. Guys? He looks around and sees why Wade and Betsy haven't answered him. Wade sweeps Betsy off her feet and smiles. Betsy giggles giddily. Their faces then move closer as they kiss. Angelo just shakes his head and sits down on a log, facing away from them. Look out, world. Angelo says. The Skin Detective Agency is in town. Dark Jaded Rose, don't worry. This FIC ain't finished yet. I just had too much on my plate, what with all my other fix to do. Enjoy. For Dark Jaded Rose, as always, quote of the day. You are a sad, strange little man. Westchester, New York. There is a flash of light and our three heroes, Wade Wilson, aka the Merc with a mouth known as Deadpool, Betsy Braddock, aka the British telepath and former ex-woman known as Psylocke, and Angelo Espinosa, aka the former Generation Xer known as Skin. Why are we in Westchester, of all places? Wade asks. We are in Westchester because we need to recruit Jubilee for our group, Betsy answers him. Look, Angelo says, pointing to the big mansion before them. It's Xavier's. Gee. Wade quips. What gave you that idea? The big sign saying, Xavier's School for Higher Learning? Wade, don't be such an ass, Betsy tells her companion. Wade fixes Betsy with a wicked smile. Does it make you horny? Betsy just shakes her head. Randy? Wade continues. Betsy still ignores him. Do I make you horny, baby? Yeah, do I? Yes, Wade. Betsy sighs. You make me exceptionally Randy, now shut up. Wade turns to Angelo. Did you hear that, kiddo? He asks. I make Betsy Randy? I think she was being sarcastic. Angelo says matter-of-factly as he and Betsy walk through the gate to Xavier's. Wade is left all by himself. Oh. Betsy walks up to the door and knocks. The three heroes are left waiting for a couple of seconds before someone answers. The door opens and a blonde head pokes out. Yes. How may I help you? The blonde woman, who just happens to be Paige Guthrie, another former Generation Xer and now a fully fledged member of the X-Men, asks, not realizing who the visitors are. She then takes a closer look and her eyes pop open in surprise. Oh my God! She yells as she slams the door in their faces. Not the kind of reaction you were hoping for, huh? Wade asks. Several moments later, the door opens again. This time it is Professor Xavier. It is nice to see you, Betsy, he says, uncertainly. We all thought you were dead. I was, Professor. Betsy answers him, but I got better. And Mr. Espinosa, Xavier says to Angelo, you were dead too. I'm back and ready to party. Angelo smiles. Xavier turns to Wade. And you must be Wade Wilson. Logan's told me all about you. I hope it's all good. Wade nervously smirks. Why don't you all come in? Xavier asks them. I thought you'd never ask. Wade mumbles. Professor, Betsy gasps. You're walking. My legs we healed by a mutant called Zorn, who happened to be Magneto in disguise. Just a normal day at the office, huh? Wade asks. The rec room. Paige is now sitting in the rec room with the rest of the X-Men, Warren Worthington, Archangel, Bobby Drake, Iceman, Jubilee, Kurt Wagner, Nightcrawler, and Logan, Wolverine. They all look up as Xavier walks in with Betsy, Wade and Angelo. As soon as Jubilee sees the newly resurrected Angelo, she runs up and gives him a huge hug. Oh, Angelo, she says with teary eyes, I thought that I'd never see you again. Think nothing of it, chica, Angelo says, patting Jubilee's head lovingly. I got brought back from the dead so I could be with you. That's if you want to be with me. Of course I do, ya silly jerk. Jubilee sniffs. Angelo smiles and kisses Jubilee on the forehead. Lo Warren. Betsy says to her former boyfriend, I'm back, and you're not blue anymore. Long story. The winged X-Man says, you've got your old body back. One of the perks of being brought to life, I suppose. Isn't anyone going to welcome me? Wade asks the room. As if in answer, there is a snicked, as Logan gets up and glares at him. Why are ya here, Wilson? He growls. Wade holds up his hands in defense. Whoa there, Camel. I'm not here for a hit. I'm just here with the Gray Kid and my new girlfriend to recruit Jubilee for our gang. Bests what? The whole room choruses. I'm with Wade now. Betsy tells anyone. She looks at Warren. Don't look so shocked, Warren. I'm not the one going out with someone half my age. How did you know? Warren splutters. I'm a telepath, remember? Oh yeah. Kurt gets up and gives Betsy a hug. No matter what the others say or who you are now dating, I'm glad that you're back. Thanks, Kurt. Betsy says, returning the hug. Does Brian know that you're back? Kurt asks. Not yet. Betsy answers him. We're going to get a permanent residence somewhere, then I'll tell him. Why don't you stay here? Bobby asks. No offense or anything, guys. Betsy answers. But I thought that I'd retire from the hero biz for a while. Wade wants to set up a detective agency and Angelo and I are going to help. What about Jubilee? Angelo asks. That's why we're here, to recruit her. If that's all right with Jubilee and the professor, Betsy answers. Is that all right with you, Jubilee? Xavier asks. I don't care what I do, Jubilee smiles tearfully. It only matters that Angelo is alive. Later, after several hours of catching up on recent events, Xavier, outing, the X-Men, the riot at the school, the destruction of Genosha, the reappearance of Magneto and the death of Jean Grey, Betsy, Wade, Angelo and now Jubilee are carrying Jubilee's luggage to a car that Xavier has kindly lent them. Bet you $5 that Summers meets another evil clone. Wade mutters to Betsy. Betsy glares at Wade and swats him on the arm. This then causes him to lose his balance, making him fall over, dropping Jubilee's suitcase. Paige walks up and gives Jubilee and Angelo a big hug. Any idea where you're going? She asks. Wade wants to set up shop in the city, Angelo answers her. I'll miss you, Paige sniffs as she gives them another hug. Hey chill hayseed. Jubilee tells her friend. We'll only be a couple hours down the road. You can come visit anytime you want. Good luck, short stuff. An unusually tear-filled Logan tells Jubilee, also giving her a hug. Take care of yourself, Wolvie, she tells him. Logan then turns to Angelo and fixes him with a mean stare. Look after her, Espinoza. Snicked. Understood, Mr. Logan, Angelo nervously smirks. Behind them, Wade can be heard beeping the horn impatiently. Come on, people, he yells. We haven't got all day. I want to get gone sometime soon. Betsy shakes her head from the driver's seat. Jubilee and Angelo wave goodbye to the others and run over to Wade and Betsy in the car. All set, everyone? Wade asks. Ready and raring, Jubilee answers him. Wade turns to Betsy. Number 2, he says. Engage. He bursts into fits of giggles as Betsy starts up the engine. What's so funny? She asks. Heh, I said, number 2, Wade giggles. Betsy, Angelo and Jubilee just shake their heads as they drive out of Xavier's and into their new life as private investigators. Quote of the day, pudding. The new offices of Braddock, Lee, Espinoza and Wilson Detective Agency, Blue for short, Manhattan. The Heroes Detective Agency is presently being decorated. Wade, Betsy and co. are joined by Betsy's twin brother and sister-in-law Brian and Megan Braddock. Megan is dressed in paint-covered dungarees, helping an identically clad Betsy and Wade paint the main office. Brian is helping Jubilee connect up the electrics while Angelo has been elected lunch duty. Wade switches on the stereo and starts to dance around to the music. He dances over to Betsy and sweeps her up in his arms. Come on, Bets. Wanna dance, Wade Wilson? You put me down this instant. We've got work to do. The purple-haired British telepath tells her new beau. Spoil sport. Wade pouts. I'll dance with you if you want, Wade. Megan offers. plopping down a paint roller into its tray. "Thank you very much, Megan," Wade says, picking Megan up into his arms and spinning her around. "At least someone knows how to have fun." He follows that up by sticking his tongue out at Betsy. In turn, she f's paint at Wade. He dodges out of the way and the paint hits Megan instead. Megan yelps in surprise, picks up her paint roller and f's paint at Betsy. Betsy dodges out of the way, accidentally knocking over a ladder with a paint can on top. The paint can then falls onto Wade, covering him with paint. "You are gonna pay for that, Bets," Wade mockingly hisses, grabbing up another paint can. This means war. What ensues can be best described as a massacre, with paint flying everywhere. Meanwhile, with Brian and Jubilee is presently sitting on a desk chewing gum while Brian tries to wire a plug. "A little help wouldn't go amiss, you know," Brian sighs. Jubilee pops her gum and leans on her hands, watching Brian. "Call me an old-fashioned gall, but I was brought up to believe that the men wired the plugs and the women had the babies." Brian then mutters something under his breath and continues with the wiring. Angelo then walks in with piles of sandwich cartons and stuff. "Man is here," he grunts. "Man bring food. Put food on fire to cook. Pee on fire to put out. Never get invited back." Jubilee runs up and throws her arms around her gray-skinned boyfriend, planting a kiss on his lips. "Didja get me ham on rye with mayo?" she asks. Angelo hands her a sandwich carton. "You only want me for my bready goodness, and your why yet supple tushy." Angelo then turns around and yells out for the others. "Food's here." Angelo and Jubilee stare at the sight of a paint-covered Wade, Betsy and Megan. "What happened to you guys?" Jubilee asks. "Paint. Throw. Pain. Death. The humanity," Wade gasps. "Ooh," Megan coos, flying over to Angelo. "Is that meatball and Parmesan baguette mine?" "Nah, Meg." Wade tells her. "I've got first dibs. You ordered steak and mustard." "Bloody hell, Wade." Betsy smirks. "You eat like a pregnant woman." Wade takes a huge bite out of his sandwich, dropping most of the sauce down himself in the process. "I've gotta keep my energy up if we're gonna stay up all night makin' lerv." "Too much information." Jubilee winces. "Who wants to do the honors?" Brian asks, getting up from wiring the plugs. Seeing that everyone else has their mouths full with their respective sandwiches, Brian switches on the lights himself. "I hereby declare the Braddock, Lee, Espinoza and Wilson Detective Agency open." Brian switches on the lights and nothing happens. "Oh bugger. Nice work, love," Megan quips, after several more hours of rewiring. Wade, Betsy, Megan, Jubilee and Angelo sit around with bored expressions on their faces while Brian rewires the lights. Wade is presently asleep with his head leaning on Betsy's shoulder. He's snoring. "Wade." Betsy sighs. "Wake up, you're snoring." "And he's drooling," Megan adds from her position, laying on her back on one of the desks. "You getting comfy there, love?" Brian asks his wife. "Most outstandingly so, dear." Brian turns back to the light switch. "And without any further ado, I hereby declare this detective agency open." Brian then switches on the lights and the lights come on, everyone cheers loudly. "And about bloody time too," Betsy grins. Later still, Brian and Megan are bidding Wade and co goodbye. "Are you sure you couldn't stay?" Betsy asks. "We've got so much to catch up on." "No can do, Bets." Brian tells his sister. "We've got to get back to England. I have to prepare for a business meeting. And then he's taking me shopping at Carnaby Street," Megan adds. Betsy walks up and gives her brother and his wife a big hug. "Y'all come back now." "Why here?" Wade shouts from the doorway. "And Wade," Brian says, "you hurt Betsy and I'll rip out your lungs and use them as bagpipes, understood?" "Crystal," Wade squeaks. And with that, Brian and Megan wave goodbye, get in their car and drive off. After they've drove off, Wade sweeps Betsy up in his arms. "What a yaw say, Bets?" he asks, with a twinkle in his eye. "You want to test out those new bed springs?" "Better than letting them go to waste," Betsy answers, with an equally lecherous glint in her eye. Angelo watches them in disgust. Jubilee sidles up to him and whispers in his ear. "Whatcha say, Angelo? You want to have an early night too?" Is that all I am to you? Angelo asks in mock indignation. A human love machine? That and the guy that gets the sandwiches and coffee. Angelo just shrugs and puts his arms around Jubilee's shoulders. Nah, buddy boy, Jubilee says. If we're gonna do this, let's do it properly. Angelo yelps in surprise as Jubilee sweeps him up onto her shoulders. I'm putty in your hands. Nothing turns to putty in my hands, Jubilee winks. Caliente, you don't know what blue is. I'm sure that a smart woman like you should know. It stands for Braddock, Lee, Espinoza and Wilson, the surnames of Betsy, Jubilee, Angelo and Wade respectively. Like the pea on fire joke, huh? Got that idea from an episode of Friends, I can't remember which though, and yup. Skins the man. It's a pity that Marvel killed him off. Risty geez. Is there anybody that you don't hate? Amara, Storm, Megan, Jean. Although, I've got to agree with you on that one. Enjoy the chappy. And look, women kicking butt. It was about 8 in the evening when Wade came out of the shower in a blue fluffy bathrobe singing, "It's a Small World After All." Betsy gave her boyfriend a look and shook her head at his somewhat off way of typical behaving. She went in to get ready for the evening since everyone had decided to go to a nearby bar for a night of drunken hilarity. She had finally stepped into the shower, after having to rearrange the bathroom since Wade had the tendency of throwing his laundry all over the place, when an overzealous person was banging the door. "Wait," she shouted, but the door continued to be bombarded by God knows who. She stepped out of the shower and yanked it open, dripping wet. Her purple hair matted onto her face. "What?" she yelled. "Can I use your hair dryer?" Jubilee asked and looked down at the body of her friend. Maybe you didn't realize it, but you're sorta," she pointed out. "Aren't you the observant one?" Betsy said irritably and slammed the door in her face. "I take that as a yes," she hears Jubilee call out. Rolling her eyes, she took her shower and got ready for the evening. Asterisk 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 20 minutes later she marched downstairs dressed to kill and noticed that everyone else, aside from Wade who considered worn-out jeans, a blue t-shirt and grungy sneakers, out on the town, clothes, dressed in the same fashion. "Are we ready to party?" Wade shouted enthusiastically and got a cheer from Jubilee and Angelo. He put his arm around Betsy who gave him a look. "Are you ready to party, cute buns?" She looked up at him and groaned. "Will you ever let up?" she asked, and they made their way to the car awaiting them outside. Asterisk 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 they got to the bar where some random music was playing and Wade walked in dancing the Macarena. Some salsa started to play and Angelo looked at his girl and got a bright idea. "Wanna dance?" he asked. Jubilee nodded her head and allowed him to lead her to the semi-vacant dance floor. Betsy and Wade went over to the bar and ordered some drinks. Betsy noticed someone watching them, or better yet Wade, but she chose to ignore it and instead focused on drinking her margarita. Beside her, Wade was tossing back drinks like there was no tomorrow, and the minute that Jubilee and Angelo joined them, the games began. They went to a back room full of drinks and tried to decide on what to play. "Hey, how about Strip Twister?" Deadpool said. The others looked at each other and shrugged. "Okay. I go first." Out of nowhere he pulled out a mat and the small spinning board. "Prepared, aren't we?" Jubilee said, much to his amusement. "Of course, now let's see." He prepared the mat on the bare floor and spun. Right foot on green. He put his foot on it and then everyone followed suit. Wade happily tripped throughout the whole game, much to the consternation of the others since they were usually under him, and he slowly took his clothes off as if it was a strip tease, much to the degradation of Betsy. They merely rolled their eyes and tried their best to avoid him. By the end of the game, everyone but Betsy was either or semi. Not even Angelo in all his mutant glory was able to win. She stood up and smiled. "No one could ever beat me in Twister as a kid," she said. Wade stuck his tongue out at her while adjusting the beer bottle that worked as cover-up. Jubilee had taken to newspapers and Angelo had taken to Jubilee, much to her glee. "So what next?" Jubilee asked. Wade shrugged without any ideas. They pulled on their clothes and went back inside the bar. "So who wants to play 15 Seconds of Fury?" Angelo asked. The others responded in delight to the game. "Good. Now grab your bottles and every 15 seconds you have to drink a bottle," he said. Jubilee wrinkled her nose. "Isn't it a sip?" she asked. Wade sighed heavily and patted her on the head. "Poor Jubes, just leave the rules to the men, sweetie," he said, and they began the game. About 5 minutes and 20 beers later, they were all wasted, particularly Betsy, who obviously couldn't handle her drinking too well, but after 20 beers who could? She looked over again and noticed the woman from earlier on checking out Wade. The woman looked up and stared at her with vivid green eyes and red hair that grew wild. Half of her face was white and the other light shade of pink. Her costume was a little surprising since it wasn't every day you saw a semi-woman wearing football shoulder pads and thigh-high boots, but hey, to each their own. Betsy narrowed her eyes and she swore that the woman gave her the finger. The little hussy. Betsy cried out and stood up, only to wobble a bit. Wade started laughing manically. "Where y'all goin'?" He slurred and took another drink. Betsy quickly turned around but grabbed her head as the room spun. "I'm going to make sure no one looks at you again," she said and made her way over to the woman, stumbling slightly. The woman noticed her approach and stood up glaring down at her. Wade recognized her and quickly ran over, knocking a couple of chairs and embraced her regardless of the machetes in either hand. "Typhoid Mary," Wade said, and seeing that it was surely her, hugged her tighter. "It's my little sweet cheeks." Betsy turned to him and anger added to her insanity. "What did you say to her?" she asked. Wade, who didn't know what he was doing, merely giggled and repeated it again. "Sweet cheeks, cute buns. I said sweet cheeks. Why you little?" She pulled her fist back and swung it towards Wade, but he ducked just in time. Unfortunately, Typhoid Mary was not that fortunate. She ended up feeling Betsy's fist connect with her jaw. She held her cheek and growled. Throwing down her knives, she pounced on Betsy and a catfight ensued. Wade took a step back and watched as his girlfriend pinned Mary to the ground and straddled her. He grabbed a seat, took another bottle of beer and drank in awe. Jubilee and Angelo came stumbling over and marveled at the sight of their violet-haired friend kicking butt. "Ya know, she should join the WWE," Angelo said. Wade agreed and rooted each girl on in turn. "Go Typhoid. Go Betsy. Go ahead, rip her shirt off. Yeah." And he threw back another sip. By the time they were done, Typhoid Mary was knocked out on the ground and Betsy stood up, her clothes ripped to shreds with only her black bra covering her chest, and she threw her hands up in victory. "That's for any of you who want to look at my man," she cried out and got cheers from the rest of the women before completely passing out onto the floor. Wade looked at her body toppled over Mary's and shook his head. "Some people just can't hold their liquor." He tossed her over his shoulder and everyone went home, unprepared for morning torture. "Risty, glad to see that you at least like someone. I didn't make Typhoid Mary's costume up. That was all from Marvel. More women kicking butt next. You can't get more butt kicking than Typhoid Mary." Dark Jaded Rose. "See? Here's an update. I am the king of chocolate mice, Wibble." It's 9 in the morning in the HQ of the Braddock, Lee, Espinoza and Wilson Detective Agency. The door swings open and a Hawaiian shirt-clad Wade walks in with the morning paper, whistling to himself. He plops down on a chair and prepares to read his paper. He says to himself. Some little redhead kid beat up Avalanche all on her lonesome. I wonder who that was? Wade looks up from the paper as a badly hungover Betsy walks in. "What up, cute buns?" an ever-chipper Wade asks, still feeling groggy from last night. Betsy groans and slumps down beside Wade, laying her head on his shoulder. "I feel like someone's shat in my mind," the purple-haired Brit moans. "That bad, huh?" Then there is a shout from Jubilee and Angelo's room. "Medic!" Jubilee yells. "We need more juice." "You've got legs," Wade shouts back. "Get it yourself." Unheard by Betsy but heard by Wade's sensitive hearing, Jubilee mutters various curses under her breath as she gets up out of bed. Wade looks up as he hears someone enter the door. He jumps up in shock as he sees who it is, in the process, pushing Betsy's head off his shoulders, making her bang her head against the desk. "Ow, bloody, Wade," Betsy winces, rubbing her head. "Typhoid Mary." Wade gasps. "What are you doing here?" Betsy suddenly perks up as she hears the name of Wade's former friend. She jumps up from her seat, clutching her head in pain. "Oh wow. Got up too fast. I want to hire you," Typhoid answers matter-of-factly. Betsy, still clutching her head in pain, walks out into the kitchen and pops her head out. "Once I've sorted this bloody headache out, I'm going to finish what I started last night." "Betsy, please." Wade pleads. "This is the first case that we've had in days, we need the money." From the kitchen, Betsy can be heard muttering various curses as she pours herself some water to go with the aspirin. Wade turns back to Typhoid. "What do you need us for?" he asks. "If it's bumping someone off, I'm afraid that we can't take it as ***. Betsy made me promise that I'd stop killing people." "It's nothing like that, Wade," Typhoid adds. "I just need you to get some money for me." "Is that all?" Wade asks, not exactly trusting her. "Who's it from?" "Bullseye," Typhoid says. "Bloody hell," Betsy shouts from the kitchen. Typhoid ignores the sudden outburst and continues her story. "I teamed up with Bullseye for a job. The job went off nice and cleanly, but when it came for my cut of the money, Bullseye stiffed me." "The jerk," Wade growls. "I know I might not be the perfect gentleman, but I've never stiffed somebody on their share of my money." "So you'll take the job?" Typhoid asks. "You got yourself a deal," Wade says, shaking her hand. "As long as I get 10%. Later, after Wade and Betsy have changed into their hero gear, they join Typhoid in what Wade likes to call the dead mobile. It's actually an old clapped-out Aston Martin with flaky paint. "I see your taste in cars hasn't changed," Typhoid smirks. "What do you mean?" Wade asks in defense. "This is a classic piece of machinery." "Yeah, in 1989. Betsy joins in. "See," Typhoid continues. "Even your girlfriend agrees with me." "And you can shut up too," Betsy hisses, turning to the red-headed schizo. "The only reason that I'm here instead of being in bed like any normal person with a hangover would be is so I can make sure that you don't get your bloody nails into my bloody man." "Maybe I wouldn't need to if you were any good in bed," Typhoid spits. "Oh, that's it," Betsy snarls. "You're going down." She then grabs Typhoid in a headlock and starts to pull her hair and tear at her clothes. Inside the car, Wade bangs his head against the steering wheel with exasperation. "Sometimes I regret being brought back to life," he sighs. Wade. Betsy and Typhoid are now sat in silence in the car on the way to Bullseye's hideout. Wade is driving with Betsy beside him. She, just like Typhoid, has her arms crossed and a pissed expression on her face. She looks into the rear-view mirror and looks at Typhoid's reflection. "Trollop," she mutters. "Cow," Typhoid shoots back. "Tart, harpy, slag." Wade steps on the brakes and turns to the arguing women. "If I have to tell you one more time to stop arguing, I'll turn this car around and go back home. I'm not joking, I'm serious." "She started it," Betsy pouts. "She did," Typhoid mutters. "Shish," Wade says. "Be you. Shish, be you. Just know that I've got a whole bag of shish here with your name on it. Shish." That was as preemptive shish. So stop it. Betsy and Typhoid sulk in silence and leave Wade to the driving. Meanwhile, back at the agency, Jubilee and Angelo have finally got up out of bed. They walk into the office, leaning on each other for support. "I can't believe we got so drunk," Jubilee winces. "How many drinks did I drink?" 8 bottles of beer and 9 tequila shots and 5 double vodkas. Angelo answers her, counting off his fingers. Jubilee slumps down on nearby chair. "Just leave me alone to die," she moans. "Why doesn't Wade have a hangover?" Angelo asks. Jubilee rubs her eyes and squints at her boyfriend. "Because of his freakin' healing factor. Damn jerk can't even get drunk. Just like Logan actually. As a matter of fact, back when I was with the X-Men." Angelo covers his ears and moans into his lap at the sound of Jubilee's old catchphrase. "I wonder if the Avengers are looking for members?" "Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, Exhibit A, this isn't. Would you like a zupple of my ZIPLE? Oh come on. When a proud man comes along, you must zip it. Sham about that, Bets." Typhoid smirks. "Wade's got you good." Wade turns to the red-haired schizo. "Typhoid? Yeah? Don't? What's that supposed to mean?" "Typhoid don't. This is getting old. Typhoid n'est pas. Subtitle Typhoid don't. I don't have to stand for this crap." Upstairs, in his rented apartment, Bullseye is zonked out asleep in front of the TV. There is a knock on the door. "Zeesnert. I want a bloody costume." There's another knock, this time louder. Bullseye rubs his eyes, mutters various curses and gets up to open it. "Who is it?" Pizza delivery for Mr. I.C. Wiener. I didn't order no pizza. Bullseye shouts through the door. And, besides, my name ain't I.C. Wiener. Pity. The pizza delivery guy says. Then, the door is shot to pieces as someone blasts through it with a pair of twin Uzis. Honey, I'm home. Yup. It's Deadpool. Bullseye runs over to the window and leaps outside onto the fire escape. Quick. Wade yells. He's heading for the window. Wade, Betsy and Typhoid follow him out onto the fire escape. They run up to the roof. On the roof, Bullseye turns around and looks for a way off. Too late, Wade and co reach the top of the fire escape. Give it up, Bullseye, Betsy yells. There's nowhere to run. That's what you think, love, Bullseye grins as he reaches behind his back. He pulls out 2 sharpened paperclips. Ooh. Look at me. Wade taunts. I'm the big bad assassin. I've got 2 paperclips and I'm gonna kill you with them. I'm so scared. Bullseye throws the paperclips at Wade. They fly through the air and stick in Wade's throat. Ow. Bullseye then runs to the roof ledge. He looks down and prepares to jump. Then Typhoid shouts something out. Hey, target head. Bullseye turns around. Typhoid grins at him evilly. Burn. Bullseye screams as he bursts into flames. Typhoid no. Betsy yells. You're going to kill him. Don't worry, my pretty. Typhoid grins again. He'll be all right. Oh no, he won. In the process of trying to pat out the flames with his hands, Bullseye loses his flooring on the roof ledge and falls. No. Wade and Betsy simultaneously yell. Several floors down, Bullseye can be heard landing on a nearby dumpster with a pang. Wade and co runs over to the roof ledge and look down. Ooh. That musta hurt. Wade winces. I'd better make sure that he stays there, Typhoid snarls, taking out one of her machetes. Betsy grabs her arm, preventing her from doing so. Don't do it, she warns. Oh, chill out, love. I'm not gonna kill him. Just hurt him, a lot. Betsy lets go of Typhoid's arm. Typhoid then drops her machete down the building. It sticks into Bullseye's hand, stapling him to the dumpster. So what are we gonna do now? Wade asks. I dunno about you. Typhoid says, but I'm gonna get my money. I've got an idea where we can leave Bullseye. Betsy smiles. Got an idea, Bets? Wade asks. The law offices of Murdoch and Nelson. Matt Murdoch and Foggy Nelson, the lawyers in question, look up from their work as they hear a knock on the door. Special delivery. Someone calls. You expecting a package, Matt? Foggy asks. I don't think so. Matt says as he opens the door. Huh, nobody's here. Foggy walks up to see what's the what. Sitting in the hallway to their law firm is a large gift-wrapped box. DD sense tingling? Foggy asks his friend. Matt walks up to the parcel and places his ear to it. Oh my God. There's someone inside. Foggy runs up and helps him shred the wrapping away. As soon as they open it, they jump away as an unconscious body falls out. Oh no. Foggy gasps. Bullseye. Matt picks up a piece of paper. There's a note. It says, hope you enjoy this present, best wishes, your friendly neighborhood merc with a mouth. What does that mean? Foggy asks. Matt sniffs the note to see if he can catch a familiar scent. Deadpool. He says with a slight smile. I heard you were alive. He then sniffs it again. This time his face blanches at the familiar smell. Oh no. What is it? A concerned Foggy asks. Typhoid Mary. Blue HQ Wade. Betsy and Typhoid are now joined by Jubilee and Angelo. Typhoid is now searching through the suitcase of money, counting it. How much do I owe you? She asks. Wade gets a cheeky smile on his face. I wouldn't mind. $1 million. Why not have 5? Typhoid asks, handing Wade a wad of cash. Wade clutches his heart, makes several gurgling noises, foams at the mouth and faints. Yoink. Betsy grins, snatching the wad away from Typhoid. So. Typhoid grins, sitting down. You guys looking for an intern or something? Betsy, Jubilee and Angelo get a worried look on their faces. You don't mean? Yup. Can I join your gang? Now it's Betsy, Jubilee and Angelo's turn to clutch their chest, make gurgling noises and faint. Hey. Typhoid chuckles. I'll take that as a guess then, shall I? It's mid-morning in the offices of the Braddock, Lee, Espinoza and Wilson Detective Agency. Unusually, everyone is up and ready for work. Everyone except Wade, that is. Jubes. Have you seen Wade? Betsy asks. Jubilee looks up from her random gossip magazine and pops her gum. He said that he had to go out and get some tickets. What for? Betsy asks again. This time it is Angelo's turn to answer. His head pops up from behind his computer. We're goin' top a rock concert. He grins. Who are we going to see? Typhoid Mary asks, her head popping around the corner. We're going to see The Darkness. Angelo grins again. Oh. My. God. Typhoid, Betsy and Jubilee say simultaneously. They're so cool. Damn straight. Jubilee starts to panic. Holy crap, I haven't got anything to wear. Neither have I. Betsy joins in. Arg, they both scream. Shopping trip. I'm just going as I am. Typhoid sniffs. What? Angelo asks. Fishnet stockings, high-heeled boots and spiky football shoulder pads? Yup. Typhoid answers. I'll fit in just great, what with the lead singer prancing about in spandex pants. At that moment, Wade walks in from his ticket quest. Doom, he yells. What was that all in aid of? Betsy asks. I was my Magneto impression. Wade grins. You like? Betsy just rolls her eyes and returns to adding up the bills. Whoa, tough crowd. Angelo gets up off his chair and walks up to Wade. Let's see the tickets then. Wade hands the tickets to Angelo. I've got tickets to something way better than a Darkness concert, he grins. Ballet? Angelo asks. You got tickets to the ballet? Yup. Dude, you so need a testosterone replacement. I don't know. Betsy says. I used to love the ballet as a child. It might be fun. Get ourselves dolled up, have a night out. You know what that means. Jubilee grins. Shopping trip, Betsy joins. Asterisk 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 later, everyone is dressed and waiting in the main foyer. Betsy is wearing a slinky purple cocktail dress. Typhoid is wearing a dress in the same style but black, and several degrees sluttier. Tangelo is wearing a tuxedo and Jubilee is wearing a sparkly green dress. She's attempting to tie Angelo's bow tie for him. You're a grown man and you tell me that you've never tied a bow tie before? She asks her boyfriend. There wasn't much need for one when you lived in the barrio, chica, Angelo answers. Everybody ready? Wade asks. Wade. Betsy says, pointing to Wade's clothes. Hadn't you better get change? Wade looks down at his clothes. He's wearing a pink tutu over his usual red and black costume. What? He asks. Too much. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. The gang are now sat in their private box in the theater. I just want to say. Angelo moans. I didn't want to come here, to see some guys prancing about like girly men. Oh shut up Angelo. Jubilee sighs. Sit down and enjoy it. Typhoid is reading the program. I don't believe it, she grins. I saw this same troupe 10 years ago. They were doing Swan Lake. It made me cry like a girl, and I was evil. The music for the beginning starts and a hush descends as the show starts. A guy comes prancing onto the stage. Geez. Angelo winces. You can see that guy's package. Ow. He winces as Jubilee elbows him in the ribs and shushes him. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. It is now time for the interval and the gang are gathered in the foyer. Excuse me everyone. Betsy says. Gotta go to the little girl's room. Yeah, I've gotta go for a pee too, Wade agrees. Don't be gone for too long, Jubilee says. The second half begins soon. We'll be fine. Wade grins as he and Betsy walk off in the direction of the bathrooms. Several minutes later Wade and Betsy turn a corner and find themselves at a dead end. Okay, that's great. Betsy groans. We're lost. Don't worry cute buns. Wade grins. We'll find our way out soon. Famous last words. Betsy mumbles under her breath. We're gonna end up wandering about backstage like Spinal Tap at that concert, or Angel and Cordelia in that episode of Angel when they go to the ballet. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. Back upstairs, Jubilee, Angelo and Typhoid wait impatiently. I wish they would hurry up, Angelo sighs. I want to go back in and watch the rest of the show, The way the dancers move it almost like it's. He looks at Jubilee and Typhoid as they smirk at his newfound love of ballet. Okay. He sighs. Not a word of this to anyone, I've got a representative to maintain. The announcement for the beginning of the second half then goes out over the PA system. It doesn't look like they're coming back, Typhoid says. Do you think we should go look for them? Yeah. Jubilee agrees. They might be in trouble. Asterisk 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 back downstairs. Wade and Betsy are still lost. Wade opens a random door and they walk into a room. They look around. Oh my God. Wade gasps. This must be the prima ballerina's dressing room. He then looks around some more. Betsy. Betsy? Where are you? Cute buns. Suddenly, Wade is knocked to the floor as Betsy pounces on him and mashes his mouth with hers. Whoa, they're cute buns. Wade wheezes. Getting a little eager, aren't we? Just shut and kiss me, Betsy says, her eyes glimmering with a predatory gleam. Okay. Wade grins. You don't need to tell me twice. Betsy straddles him and tears off his tuxedo jacket and shirt. She mashes his mouth with hers again. Arg. Cold hands. Wade winces. Asterisk 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 Angelo, Jubilee and Typhoid are now searching backstage for their friends. Typhoid spots someone moving around. She runs to catch up. Jubilee and Angelo follow. They round a corner and see what seems to be a ballerina fade through a door. I knew I recognized the ballerina on stage, Typhoid says. She was the same on in the show that I saw 10 years ago. Whoa, Jubilee says. Deja vu. This reminds me of that episode of Angel when everyone gets trapped backstage and the leader of the troupe is this evil sorcerer guy who has the prima ballerina under his thrall. Angelo finishes. You go and find Wade and Betsy. Typhoid says. I'll go get the sorcerer guy, and with that they split up. Asterisk 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 Typhoid approaches the entrance to the troupe leader's private box. Luckily there isn't any guards about. She quietly sneaks in the door and is about to grab him when. Hello. The troupe leader grins evilly. How may I help you? You can start by giving me your wacky amulet thing, Typhoid hisses. I don't think so. Sorcerer guy grins. This is the source of my power and with it I keep my beloved prima ballerina under my thrall, forever. Ow. Typhoid gets bored with the guy's blathering and punches him on the nose. She then snatches his amulet away. Ha. Got ya amulet. Smash. She crushes it under her foot. No. Sorcerer guy moans. I loved her, she will be mine forever. Oh, get over it, you loser. Typhoid sighs. Sleep. Sorcerer guy passes out. And now to find the others. Asterisk 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 Wade and Betsy are now well and truly ahem under the amulet's power. We can't do this. Wade wheezes. We're being possessed somehow. It must be the prima ballerina and her lover's spirits. You've seen that episode too, huh? Betsy asks. Yup, Wade answers. So you wanna stop? Hell no. Betsy then traces kisses down Wade's chest until, wham! Jubilee kicks the dressing room door open. Don't worry you two. We're here to rescue. Holy crap. Put some clothes on for Flonk's sake. Asterisk 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 the gang are now assembled outside Blue HQ. And you saw them completely and doing it, Typhoid asks. Uh-huh. You didn't happen to get photos, did you? Please stop talking anytime you want, Betsy groans. They walk into the door and an unusual sight greets them. Pyro. Betsy gasps, not believing her eyes at the sight of the formerly dead member of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. What are you doing here? Some guy with a deep booming voice brought me back from the dead and said that I had you come help you blokes. The more the merrier, I suppose. Wade sighs. Welcome aboard, buddy. Pyro takes Wade's hand and shakes it, then he sees Typhoid Mary. Well, good day, Sheila. What's a why thing like you doin' here? All Typhoid can do is mumble and blush deeply. Oh great, Betsy whispers to Jubilee. Now we've got two psychos on the team. Betsy. Jubilee says. I think you'd better make that 3. Betsy looks behind her and sees Wade. He's now back in his pink tutu and blonde wig and is prancing about. Oh bloody hell. The rest of the blue gang are sat at the breakfast table eating. Betsy turns to Wade and starts talking about holidays. So where do you want to go for our anniversary? I didn't know you guys got married, Jubilee adds. Anniversary of our first date. Betsy corrects. I thought we could go to Canada. Wade grins. Betsy snorts in derision. France? Huh? Thailand? I know what your game is, Wade Wilson, and the answer is no. Well, that's me out of ideas. Wade sighs. Typhoid then chooses that moment to speak up. You know, I've still got some of that money left that we got from Bullseye. Why don't we go on a round-the-world trip? Yeah. Wade grins. That sounds cool. What a yaw say cute buns. What do you mean we? Betsy asks. You don't expect to go on vacation without us, do you? Typhoid grins. Yeah, sure, you can come along too, Betsy sighs. Watch out everyone. Wade yells. It's the Blue World Tour. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. Are we there yet? No, are we there yet? No, are we there yet? No, Wade, you're the one driving? Oh. Wade quits and concentrates on the road. Where are we going anyway? John asks. Chicago. Angelo answers. I thought we were going on a world tour? We're gonna travel around America first, Jubilee answers. I wanted to go to Australia. John pouts. Don't worry Johnny. Typhoid smirks, patting John's head. We'll get there eventually. Asterisk 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 the shiny new dead mobile, also brought with Typhoid's money, pulls up outside a swanky-looking Chicago hotel and everyone steps out. Whoa. Jubilee breathes. Are we gonna be able to afford to stay here? How much money have we got left, Typhoid? Wade asks. 15 mil. Homina. Asterisk 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 later, after everyone has got to their rooms and unpacked, Wade lies back on the bed in his boxer shorts with a pleased sigh. This is the life cute buns, swanky hotels, expensive champagne, chocolates. Why nightgowns? Wade sits up as he sees Betsy walk in from the bathroom wearing a Y-looking purple negligee. You like? Betsy asks. Uh-huh, Wade manages to say. Betsy leans closer and kisses him. Happy anniversary lover. Happy anniversary cute buns. Asterisk 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 in the room next to them. Angelo is sat up in bed watching the TV while Jubilee gets ready for bed. Angelo switches to a random wrestling show and gets comfortable. He doesn't even look up when Jubilee walks in wearing a nightgown not unlike Betsy's, but yellow. You ready for B, Angelo? Jubilee coos. Uh-huh. Angelo grunts. Jubilee just rolls her eyes at Angelo's ignorance. Hello. Scantily clad female. Ready for? Angelo still ignores her, engrossed in the TV. Jubilee pouts, then she gets an idea. She leaps at Angelo, knocking him off the bed and begins to smother him with kisses. Needless to say, the TV is forgotten. Asterisk 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 John has just got comfortable in bed when someone knocks on his door. He mutters as he goes to open it. Typhoid Mary stands at his door clad in a slinky black silk robe with a bottle of champagne and 2 glasses in her hands. I just wanted to see if you wanted a nightcap. Yeah sure, come in Sheila. John says, welcoming her in. Make yourself comfortable. Typhoid sits down on the edge of the bed and pours the champagne into the glasses. She offers one to John. Thanks love. Cheers, Typhoid says, clinking their glasses together. Cheers, John adds as they both down their drinks. So, Typhoid begins. A former villain turned good, huh? You ever fought Daredevil? Once. John answers. Needless to say, I got beat. Been there, done that. Typhoid sighs. I fell in love with him once. Well, one of my multiple personalities did. She then moves closer and places her hand on John's thigh. You got a girl, John? There was this Sheila in Westchester but nothing ever came of it. Why? I died. Oh, that musta sucked, pretty much, yeah. So you're single then? Typhoid continues. Or could say that, yeah. Typhoid moves closer and kisses him. John returns the kiss and lowers them both back onto the bed. Asterisk 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 the next morning, the gang are stood in the main foyer of the hotel, deciding where to go. I say we hit the clothes stores, Jubilee says. No, the weapons stores, Typhoid adds. Nah, y'all don't want ter go there, Sheila, wanna got ter the park. I've always wanted to go see the Bulls, Angelo adds. Nah, those ideas all suck, Wade says. Let's go hit the bars. Betsy hits him with a glare. Or we could do that later. They all decide to go on a shopping trip, much to Jubilee's glee. After their day-long shopping trip, they all decide to get ready to hit the bars. Wade and Betsy are presently sitting in the car, waiting for the others. One by one, they exit the hotel and get into the car. Sure this is a good idea? John asks. If we're gonna go to a bar, we're gonna get drunk, right? Who's driving? Me. Wade adds. I've got a healing factor, I can't get drunk. Just a few rules before we leave. Betsy begins. No drinking games and no strip twister. Spoil sport. Wade pouts. The car containing the gang pulls up outside a bar. The outside is lit up by a large neon sign depicting a scantily clad devil girl dancing. Ooh. Wade grins. The bells of hell, sounds like fun. Wade, you are such a perv. Jubilee groans. Betsy seems to like it, don't ya cute buns? Betsy just rolls her eyes and walks in. Less talking, more drinking. As they walk in, they all look around at the club. There is a large dance floor in the middle of the club with several bars along the walls. Jubilee and Angelo head straight for the dance floor. You guys grab a seat while me and Betsy get the drinks, Wade says. The couple walk up to a nearby bar and Wade gasps as he recognizes the woman behind the bar. As I live and breathe, he gasps. Kitty Pryde. Kitty spins around at the sound of the voice and drops the vodka bottle that she was refilling. Ah hell, Deadpool. The Bells of Hell Bar, Chicago. Kitty Pryde stars in amazement at the sight of Deadpool standing before her. Surprised to see me? The merc with a mouth asks. You could say that. Kitty replies, walking out from behind the bar. Don't I get a welcome? Betsy asks. Kitty smiles widely and gives the purple-haired telepath a hug. Some people never stay dead, Kitty jokes. What about us, Sheila? Pyro asks. Kitty spins around and looks at the former Brotherhood member. I knew that the X-Men's standards had started to drop, but allowing former members of the Brotherhood in Typhoid clears her throat to get attention. And psychotic schizophrenic killers? Are you insane? She then looks at Deadpool trying to catch peanuts in his mouth. I stand corrected. Betsy explains why they're all there. Wade and myself were resurrected to steal a random mystical doodad from Dr. Doom, and after that, Angelo was resurrected and we moved to Manhattan and started our own detective agency. Then Typhoid and John joined. I need to sit down. Kitty groans. Asterisk. Kitty has now finished her shift at the bar and is on her way back to her apartment. Against her better knowledge, she invited Wade and co. back with her. Nice place you got here, Kit, Jubilee says. It's comfy. Kitty replies, unlocking her door. No sooner had this happened than Wade is attacked by a purple blur. Lockheed. Kitty yells at her dragon. Behave. The little purple dragon lets go of Wade's face and drops to the floor and slinks back into the apartment. Nice dragon you got there. Wade sniffs, dabbing his wounds. Sorry about him. Kitty apologizes. He's a little wary of strangers. And you don't get stranger than Wade, Angelo quips. When they get inside, Kitty brews up some coffee and they get talking. So you guys are together? She asks Wade and Betsy. Uh-huh. Wade answers. She's my cut buns, and Wade's my snuggle muffin. Betsy joins in. Wade spits out his coffee in shock. Betsy. He gasps. Not in front of the dragon. He then looks over at Lockheed and swears that he saw him giving him the finger. So, anybody else together? Kitty asks. Jubilee and Angelo stick their hands up. Kitty hugs her friend in congratulations. Aw, you guys deserve each other. She only wants me for my bready goodness, Angelo mock sighs. And the fact that he's a Viking in the sack, Jubilee smirks. Me and John are together too. Typhoid grins. You guys deserve each other too, I suppose. Kitty says, freaked out at the thought of two psychos together. So Betsy, how does Warren feel about the fact that you're dating Deadpool? I don't think he's best pleased. Betsy replies. Then again, who is he to judge? He's dating Paige Guthrie. Get out. Kitty gasps in amazement. No way. Yes way. Wade replies. And Hank McCoy is boinking Emma Frost. Some things never cease to amaze me. Kitty grins. It's about time that Hank got some lovin'. And the Juggernaut has joined the X-Men too. Betsy continues. And Alex Summers is shagging the school nurse and Northstar has a crush of Bobby Drake. How did you find this out? Kitty asks. Betsy taps her temples in reply. Oh right, telepath, got it. So, does Brian know that you're alive, Bets? Oh yeah, he and Megan helped us move in. What about Cyrene? Kitty asks, referring to Wade's former heartthrob. Oh crap. Wade gasps. She doesn't even know that I'm alive. Oh well, we'll most probably stop by in Paris on our world tour, right? I damn well hope so, Jubilee replies. I want to see all those cool Parisian stores. I shopping all you think about? Angelo asks. Well that and, Jubilee replies. Angelo's gray skin turns red at the sound of Jubilee's words. Ah. Kitty coos. Your boyfriend's blushing. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. It is now time for Wade and co to leave. Kitty stands at her door and gives them all a hug, even Typhoid and Pyro. So where are you guys going next? I thought we might go to California to pop in and see Rogue and Remy. Apparently they've got a nice beach house there. You know what that means, don't ya cute buns? Wade grins. Yeah, John replies. Barbecues, fire is cool, Typhoid agrees. Right. Kitty says. Don't you be strangers, and Wade? Yeah? This is for that time in Hong Kong, huh? Wop. Kitty knees him in the groin. Ooh. Betsy and the others try to stifle their laughter. No fair. Wade squeaks. I may have been in the wrong, trapping you in that bubble thing, but you don't just knee a guy in the pills, that just ain't cricket. Gas station several miles outside Valle Soleada, California. Wade, Jubilee, Angelo, Typhoid and Pyro are waiting outside the gas station for Betsy, who's buying random snacks for the rest of the journey. Wade is asleep in the passenger seat while Angelo, Typhoid and Pyro play an impromptu game of poker for M&M's. Jubilee meanwhile is alternating from rooting for Angelo to trying to see how far she can stick a pencil up Wade's nose without him waking up. Jubilee freezes as Wade shifts in his sleep. Snake. 1. Wade mumbles, then he resumes snoring and drooling on his shoulder. Jubilee sticks her tongue out in concentration as she continues sliding the pencil up Wade's nose. 6S. 2. Wade mumbles again. Jubilee looks up as Betsy opens up the car door and dumps a grocery bag full of chips and soda onto Wade's lap. Wade sits up with a shout. Blew my hat off. 3. Betsy raises an eyebrow at Wade's random bouts of insanity. Was I asleep? Wade asks, as he mops up the drool from his chin. You were snoring. Jubilee answers. I could hear you from inside, Betsy adds. You were drooling too, Angelo adds, not looking up from his poker game. And spouting random crap. Typhoid joins. What was it this time? Wade asks. Something about a snake with 6S that blew her hat off, Pyro adds, picking up a card. Sometimes I dread to think what goes on in that mind of yours, Wade, Betsy grins. Why don't you take a look, cute buns? Wade asks with a lecherous glint in his eye. Betsy sighs and uses her telepathy to read Wade's thoughts. Asterisk we want chicken, we want liver, meow mix, please deliver. 4. Betsy just shakes her head and starts up the car, driving off. Asterisk 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 the town of Valle Soleada. Later the Dead Mobile cruises along the Valle Soleada coastline with the roof down so its occupants can enjoy the Californian sunshine. Well, Betsy, Typhoid and Jubilee are enjoying the sunshine. The guys are ogling the scantily clad beach babes strolling past. Silicon. Mountains and mountains of silicon. The horror. The horror. 5. Wade squeaks. Betsy sends a telepathic slap his way as she pulls up outside a swanky-looking beach house. Are you sure this is the place, Bets? Jubilee asks. Betsy looks at the address written on a piece of paper. This is the address Hank gave me. She answers. Doesn't look like anybody's in. Typhoid comments. I know how to get some attention, Wade says, leaning over and pressing the horn repeatedly. Yo, anybody home? He yells. Service. In response, a figure walks out the door, wiping her hands on a dish rag. Yeah, all right, I'm comin'. The figure halts as she sees the car. Oh my god. The figure gasps. Betsy, why aren't ya dead? I got better. 6. Betsy grins. The figure, who just happens to have a white stripe running through her hair, runs up to the car and grabs Betsy in a huge bear hug. Oh my god. It's great to see ya Bets, Rogue grins, still hugging Betsy. Betsy doesn't answer as she is staring in amazement at Rogue, who's wearing teeny tiny shorts and a t-shirt tied around her chest, oh, and the huge tribal-style tattoo that's running all the way down her left arm. Rogue, not that I'm not glad to see you or anything, but why am I still conscious? I lost my powers a while ago. Rogue grins, so me and Remy decided to take a leave of absence. Ahem. Someone clears their throat back in the car. Rogue lets go of Betsy and stares in amazement at the assembled gang in the car. G'day Rogue. Pyro grins. Long time no see Sheila. Pyro. But, how? You're dead, long story. Then Rogue gapes at the sight of Typhoid Mary with her arm around him. And you're getting snuggly with Typhoid Mary, lovely. What about us? Jubilee asks. Oh rot, hi Jubes and Angelo. Why don't y'all come on inside? Remy and the others will be back soon. What others? Angelo asks. Why Storm, Bishop, Sage, Sam and Amara of course. Asterisk Wade and co are now sat on Rogue's gazebo overlooking the beach. Rogue gets up and runs to the door as someone walks in. Cher, we're back. Rogue plants a smacker on Remy's lips as he walks in. We've only been gone a few hours, petite. I can kiss ya can't I? You and hear me complain. Remy answers with lecherous grin. We've got guests Suga. The Cajun's eyes pop open as he sees the assembled guests sat on the gazebo. What up, Gumbo? Wade grins, holding up a beer. Cool place ya got. What? Who? Huh. Rogue takes Remy's arm and leads him outside. I'll explain in a sec. After Storm, Bishop and the others have brought in the groceries. They join Rogue and Remy outside. It was quite a warm welcome. Storm gave Betsy a huge hug while Sam and Amara stood politely by. Sage just observed proceedings, as usual. Then it came to Bishop. Jubilee and Wade took one look at him and burst out laughing. Ah. Bishop in a snort Hawaiian shirt. Bawahaha. 2 gasp much. The homicide cop from the future just grits his teeth and looks at his shirt. I find that neon orange and ice blue suits me. Even an ever-stoic Sage had to admit that Bishop looked pretty funny dressed like that. So Sage. Wade grins, looking her over, in her tight leather pants and vest combo. You look radiant as ever. Thank you Wade. Sage deadpans. Wade walks up to get another beer from the cooler. Sage lets out a squeak as Wade pinches her on the backside. Before you can say, ow, I've been kneed in the groin by an irate Sage. Wade is in a pile on the floor, having been kneed in the groin by an irate Sage. After Wade's pride and joy has recovered from its pummeling, the party then gets started. Asterisk, it is now nighttime and everyone is on the beach, around a campfire. Wade and Betsy are downing beers with Rogue, Remy and Bishop while Jubilee and Angelo dance around a stereo with Amara and Sam. Storm and Sage meanwhile observe Pyro, not entirely trustingly, on the barbecue. The Typhoid arrives with more beer. Beer's here if you want it. There is a mad rush as everyone, even Sage, tries to grab the last cold bottle of beer. So, Typhoid? Storm asks. How did you join? Typhoid gulps down some beer before she begins. Well, I employed Wade and Betsy to help me get some money that was owed to me. And then the rest is history and now I'm having with Pyro. Sam spits his beer out in surprise. Everyone looks at him in curiosity. Sorry, Phlegm, too much beer. Who wants a burger? Pyro yells from the barbecue. Ooh, me. A slightly drunk Rogue yells, standing up and waving her hands about. Heads up Sheila. Pyro yells back, grabbing a bun and throwing it to her. Rogue jumps up into the air and grabs the burger, then falls back down, onto Remy's lap. Remy D and no dad you cared share. Rogue just grins drunkenly and breaks off a piece of burger and shoves it in his mouth. Betsy turns to Rogue with a serious expression on her face. So what happened when Vargas killed me? 7. Did he turn up any time after that? Oh yeah. Rogue answers. He turned up during this alien invasion thingy. 8. And what happened then? Wade asks, enthralled. Ah, kicked his butt. Rogue grins. 9. Betsy grins back and gives Rogue a high five. You go girl. Ah will. Rogue grins again, before tripping over her feet and landing on Remy's lap again. Whoop. I'm sorry Suga. Don, mention it, asterisk asterisk asterisk. It's now the morning after and Wade and co are in the dead mobile, waving goodbye to Rogue and company. Next time y'all see Hank, tell him I said hi, K. Rogue yells. I'll tell him a light, Betsy yells back. Don, be strangers, why here? Remy adds. We'll be back, Betsy responds. I'm counting on it. Betsy gives them one last wave goodbye before she drives off. So where are we going next? Jubilee asks. Wade taps his chin in thought. I'm thinking. Las Vegas. That elicits a whoop from Jubilee and the others. Viva Las Vegas, Viva Las Vegas, Viva, Viva, V. 10. Wade? Yes, cute buns? Shut up. The dead mobile pulls up outside a random Las Vegas hotel. Wade steps out and looks at all the neon lights and various casino signs. Ooh pretty. Yes Wade. Betsy deadpans. Let's all gaze at the gaudy lights. Wade then turns around and puts his arm around his girlfriend's shoulders. What's the matter cute buns, aren't you having fun? Betsy just yawns and rubs her eyes tiredly. I just want to have a nice long shower and get to bed. Wade's eyes light up at the notion. Alone, Betsy adds. Asterisk 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 after gaining entry to the hotel, everyone splits up and goes off to their rooms. Wade and Betsy is having a shower while Wade explores the hotel. Betsy steps out of the shower and pulls a towel around her and proceeds to dry her hair. She sings a random song while she's at it. Crazy, but that's how it goes. Millions of people living as foes. Maybe it's not too late to learn how to love and forget how to hate. 1. She's so engrossed in her singing that she doesn't even notice Wade walk in. He just leans back and watches her singing. Mental wounds not healing. Who and what's to blame? I'm going off the rails on a crazy train. Betsy snaps out of her euphoria as Wade gives her a round of applause. Bravo cute buns. Bravo. Betsy just grins, removes the towel from around her and throws it in Wade's face. Find anything of interest? Betsy asks as she dries herself off and searches around for her night attire. Nothing of too much interest. Wade replies. 15 different Elvis impersonators, and that's it. Typical Las Vegas. Betsy snorts. Wade, have you seen my purple silk night dress? I don't know why you wear that thing. Wade replies. It's not like it's going to stay on for long. He finishes off by giving her a wry wink. Betsy just smiles at Wade's attempts and climbs into bed. She pats the place next to her welcomingly. Are you going to stand there all night or are you going to join me in bed? Wade doesn't need to be asked twice. He leaps in after her and begins to kiss her passionately. Asterisk 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 Jubilee and Angelo. We currently find the youngest members of BLEW in the hotel casino. They walk through, looking around at the various slot machines and card tables. You want to give anything a go? Jubilee asks. Angelo lets out a disappointed sigh. I don't know Jubes. I thought Vegas would be more than this. We could always take a tour of the Hoover Dam, too, Jubilee replies. In the middle of the night? Angelo asks skeptically. Point. Jubilee concedes. So, want to check out the late-night buffet? Sure. The two of them join arms as they stroll over to the late-night buffet. Upon arriving there, Jubilee looks over the menu. Ooh, half-price waffles. You want some? I'm more of a muffin man myself, Angelo replies. Yeah I know, you dig my muffins, Jubilee counters with a saucy smile. Guilty as charged Chica. Angelo grins. Hey, I've got a better idea, let's go up to our room and order room service. Sounds kinda boring. Jubilee replies. You don't know what the food's gonna be used for, do ya? Angelo replies, a lecherous sparkle in his eye. An equally lecherous smile spreads on Jubilee's face. Whipped cream or chocolate sauce? She asks. Let's go nuts and have both, Angelo grins. Jubilee squeaks in excitement as she grabs Angelo's hand and pulls him along to the elevator to go back up to their rooms. You are once kinky Chinese chick, Angelo grins. You know it, Buster. Asterisk 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 Typhoid and Pyro. Typhoid Mary and Pyro are walking hand in hand along the Las Vegas Strip. Pyro looks at Typhoid and smiles. So, Typh, you ever been to Vegas before? Can't say that I ever have, John, she replies. I have. John says. It was back when I was with the Freedom Force. We were assigned to catch some Sheila that could turn stuff to ice. Did you catch her? Not really, no, Pyro replies. I melted her. Typhoid laughs out loud at the thought. You guys were a regular bunch of bunglers, weren't you? Pyro just smiles and walks further along. Unseen by the two, they pass a man with dark glasses and short auburn hair walking along with an attractive-looking woman with long red hair. The woman turns to the man and starts talking to him. It looks like you were right, Matt. Typhoid Mary is in Las Vegas. Aren't I always right, Tasha? The man replies. The woman just shakes her head good-naturedly. We'd better suit up, she says, before she gets into trouble. Later, Typhoid and Pyro are now sat in a diner having a cup of coffee together. Typhoid takes some cream and pours it into her coffee. She watches as the white liquid swirls around in the darker brown liquid. Penny for him, Pyro says. Typhoid looks up from her coffee. Oh, it's nothing. I just thought that I saw a familiar face when we were walking along the strip, she replies. Come to think of it, I thought I saw the Black Widow walking along there too. Typhoid puts down her coffee in shock, and you know who she's hanging out with nowadays. Daredevil. They both say. Typhoid dumps some money on the table and runs out of the diner through the back door. Going somewhere? A voice says from the darkness. They turn around and see Daredevil and the Black Widow standing in their way. Now listen her, mate, Pyro says. We didn't come to Vegas for a fight, so leave us alone and there won't be any trouble. I'm going to ignore the fact that you should be dead, Pyro. Daredevil says, so come along peacefully. What part of leave us alone didn't you understand? Typhoid asks. We've turned over a new leaf. We're the good guys. Remember when you got that gift delivered to your door the other week? Bullseye in a box. Yeah, that was us. Well, me, Deadpool and Psylocke. And Deadpool's such an upstanding citizen, Black Widow snorts. Why are you working with him? Daredevil asks. I thought you hated him. Typhoid turns to Daredevil and glares at him. At least he was there for me when I need someone. What the hell is she babbling about? Black Widow asks. She means the time when she discovered that I knocked her out that window all those years ago, therefore turning her into Typhoid Mary, apparently. 3. Nuts to this. Typhoid growls. I've had enough of you screwing around with my affairs, BU. Stop. All four of them turn and see Betsy, Wade, Jubilee and Angelo running up to them. Stay out of this, you four, Daredevil says. This is between me and Typhoid. Betsy takes something out of her pocket and shows it to Daredevil. This is official strike, for business, so I'll have to ask you to leave our friends alone. I'm here on Avengers business, Black Widow replies. And when was the last time you did anything remotely Avenger? Why? Jubilee asks. That shuts Black Widow up. Daredevil lets out a deep sigh and slumps his shoulders. Okay, I'll let her go this time, but if I found out that she's been up to her old tricks, no one will be able to keep me from you. With that, everyone goes their separate ways. After Daredevil and the Black Widow have reached a safe distance away, Wade turns to Betsy. So, is that strike ID still valid? Hell no, Betsy replies. That expired years ago. Can we please go back to the hotel? Angelo asks. Yeah. Jubilee adds. Some of us have got an appointment with whipped cream and chocolate sauce. Wade turns to Betsy with a grin. That sounds like fun, cute buns. You want to try it? You'd better not get any on the sheets, Betsy replies. With that, they all walk back to the hotel. Pyro turns back to Typhoid and notices her depressed expression. What's up, love? It's just that meeting Daredevil here stirred up a few bitter memories. Messing around with Matt Murdock's life, tricking Wade into thinking that I was Cyrene and seducing him. I'm not proud of either of them. Pyro puts his arm around her shoulder and holds her close. I know what we can do that'll make her happy, Sheila. Let's raid the minibar, vet drunk and have red hot passionate, what a ya say? Somewhere in Florida the Dead Mobile pulls up outside a swanky looking hotel and Wade gets out. He helps Betsy and the others unload their bags and walk into the hotel. While Wade gets their room keys, Betsy and the others look around the foyer. I always did love Florida, Typhoid says. Why's that love? Pyro asks. You don't want to know, Typhoid replies. John doesn't question further as he guesses that the story has something to do with random acts of violence and bloodletting. Come to think of it, most of Typhoid's stories end like that. Jubilee turns to Angelo beside her. So, Angelo, you want to go shopping later? Do I have to? Angelo groans. It's almost 10:30 in the evening. Why can't we just go out and have a quiet drink? Spoil sport. Jubilee pouts at the thought of a shopping trip going to waste. Betsy then turns and sees Wade walking up to them with the room keys in his hands. There ya go kiddies, he says, handing out the keys. Now spit off to your rooms so me and Betsy can have some private time. Asterisk 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 Jubilee and Angelo after unpacking. The first thing that Angelo does is switch on the TV, much to Jubilee's consternation. Is that all you think about? Jubilee asks, her arms crossed over her chest. Of course not, Chica. Angelo grins. I also think about cars and women. Jubilee just rolls her eyes and cuddles up to her guy on the bed. She starts to wind strands of his hair around her fingers. If we can't go shopping, we could always do something else, she whispers seductively. I'll get the ice cream, Angelo says, getting up off the bed. Jubilee takes his hand and sits him back down. Let's leave the ice cream for now, Kay? Well, you're the kinky one, Angelo replies, kissing Jubilee. You're one to talk. Mr. Several extra feet of stretchy skin, Jubilee replies with a lecherous grin. Asterisk 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 Typhoid and Pyro. We presently find the two reformed villains walking along by the hotel swimming pool. The whole place is deserted. Typhoid turns to John with a twinkle in her eye. Hey John, you want to go in for a late night dip? She asks. I think the pool's closed for the night, Sheila, John replies. Typhoid just grins seductively and slowly takes off her clothes. After she has disrobed, she dives into the pool and beckons John closer. Come on John, she says. Live a little. St. John doesn't need asking twice as he quickly disrobes and jumps in after her. I always did love skinny dipping at night, he grins. Typhoid swims up to him and plants a kiss on his lips. Aren't you the kinky one? She grins. Asterisk 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 Wade and Betsy. The two co-leaders of the gang are walking hand in hand along the street. They stop outside a nearby bar. What a yaw say Bets? Wade asks. You want to knock back a few? Of course I'm ready for a few beers, Betsy replies. I'm British. They walk into the bar. Betsy grabs a seat in a corner booth while Wade grabs the drinks. The purple-haired telepath looks over at a couple sitting at another booth. She doesn't know why, but she recognizes them from somewhere. Her train of thought is broken as Wade walks up with the drinks. Here are your drinks, madam. He grins as he passes Betsy a bottle. You watch yourself though, he says. Remember you can't handle your booze. Betsy takes a swig before answering. Up yours, tosser, she replies. See what I mean? Wade says, taking a swig. You're cussing already. After a few rounds, Betsy is now regaling Wade in one of her tales of her old X-Men days. And then wham, I whipped out me psychic knife and plunged it into the tosser's brain, she slurs. A cheeky smile spreads on Wade's face. Real badasses use swords or adamantium blades, he says. Sawed off yaw wanker, Betsy slurs again, taking yet another swig. Blimey. Wade replies. You're a cheeky bird, EY what? All Betsy does in reply is let rip with an almighty burp. Brop. Oh yeah, very classy Bets. Wade sighs. Real demure and ladylike. 1. Just shut up and get me another asterisk hick asterisk beer, Betsy replies. Not wanting to get into a drunken argument with a ninja-trained telepath that could easily kick his butt, even when drunk, Wade does as he is told and walks over to the bar. On the way, he looks over at a nearby booth and instantly recognizes the two people sitting there. "Well, shave my muff and call me Wanda," he gasps. "If it isn't Nathan Dayspring Askenise on Summer's Cable Soldier X. Or are you just callin' yourself Priscilla now, too?" "Nate's fine," the white-haired Summer's child from the future replies. Wade turns to Nate's pale-skinned companion, and Domino, "You're looking as pale and lovely as usual. Flonk off before as stick this beer bottle where the sun don't shine, Wilson," Domino replies. "What's all fuss about?" Betsy drunkenly slurs from behind them. "Oh, look who it is. Cable and Dom. Hiya guys." "Hello Betsy." Nate replies. "I heard that you two were alive." "Yeah, you can never keep a good ex-bird down," Betsy replies, as she sits down beside Nate. "So what brings you to Florida?" Wade asks. "We just thought that we'd stop by, isn't that right, Dom?" Nate says. "Yeah, great move, Nate," Dom replies. "Tell the psychotic mercenary all about our top-secret plans to go to Disney World." "Oh crap. So the big bad X-Force guy actually has a heart," Wade grins. "So, you guys actually got married yet?" "No," Dom replies. "Nate's too tight to spring for a ring." "I used to babysit you know," Betsy says. "Back when you were an ickle baby." "Oh God." Nate groans. "Not the story with Logan's cigars." One day, ickle baby Nate got hold of Logan's prize cigars and almost burnt down the whole bloody X-mansion, Betsy continues, before breaking into a fit of giggles. Wade just ignores his girlfriend's drunken giggling and continues talking to Nate and Dom. "So Wade," Nate says, "are you and Betsy together then?" "Yup." Wade replies. "She's my cute buns. And you're my snuggly wuggly Wadey Spadey," Betsy giggles. "She still can't hold her liquor then?" Dom asks. "Uh-huh, drunk as a newt," Wade replies. "Yo mama," Betsy replies. Asterisk 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 later, after Wade has finally dragged Betsy away from the bar. Wade carefully lowers Betsy onto the bed. The purple-haired Brit is fast asleep, having currently exceeded her tolerance for alcohol. Wade rubs away the kinks in his bank and goes to the bathroom to freshen up. Once he has finished, he sees that Betsy has woken up. "Come tear bed Wadey," Betsy slurs, patting the bed beside her. Betsy wants lovin'. Wade climbs into bed beside her. Betsy moves closer. "Kiss me," she says. Wade is perfectly happy to oblige and goes to kiss her. Unfortunately, Betsy chooses that time to pass out drunkenly on Wade's lap, still with her lips puckered. Before Wade can get her off his lap, the adjoining door to there in the next room opens up and Jubilee walks in. "Wade, have you got any?" The young Asian mutant stops in her tracks as she sees Betsy and Wade in their compromising position. "Geez, don't you guys ever stop?" "Agent G, yeah, I know what you mean. I hated that ride too. Fortunately enough, the last time I went to Disney, the ride was closed for refurbishment, thank God. And yes, Blue has finished their tour of the US and now they're going international." Dark jaded rose he. Betsy burping was funny, wasn't it? If you liked that, why don't you read X-Men Unlimited number 47, that's where I got the idea. Risty Kiwi flight. Yeah, I got the joke. I'm afraid that Blue won't go to NZ for a fair while yet. They have to get through Europe and Asia first. Just in advance, I'd like to apologize for this chapter. You'll see why I'm apologizing soon. I guess that Cable is a little uptight, but he's way better than his parents. Rachel too. Maybe Nate inherited the cool gene from his real mother, Madeline Pryor. 'Cause she's better than Jean anyway. The coolness gene must have skipped a generation there, either that or Alex Summers got both cool genes. 'Cause admit it, he is so much better than Scott. Asterisk 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 quote of the day, Smee he. Crichton, Red Dwarf. Asterisk 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 several miles above the Atlantic Ocean Wade Wilson leans back in his first-class seat aboard the jetliner heading towards England. He turns to his girlfriend Betsy Braddock. "You lookin' forward to getting home, cute buns?" he asks. "It would be nice to see what's been happening since I've been gone," Betsy replies. Jubilee pops her head over the back of Betsy's seat. "You mean when you were dead, right?" "Yes, Thanks for that jubilation. Betsy groans. Shouldn't you be snuggling with Angelo? He's asleep. Jubilee replies. Tired out from all the nonstop, I suppose. Typhoid Mary smirks from behind. The guy hasn't got any stamina. Jubilee sighs. You'd think that he'd be up for red hot with a smoldering hot chick like me. Angelo snorts something in his sleep. Time to kick it up a notch, bam. Right. Jubilee says, turning back to her random gossip magazine. Emigod. She gasps. Did you know that Emma Frost isn't a real blonde? Yeah, I did. Wade replies. And how did you know? Betsy asks, glaring at her boyfriend. Wade stays silent and hides his head behind a book. ******, a random airport. Somewhere in Britain. Later. Wade finishes loading up the dead mobile with everybody's luggage. He gets in the front and starts up the engine. I still can't believe how we got all your guns and Typhoid's machetes through customs, Betsy says. It's always good to have a poker buddy that's head of S.H.I.E.L.D. and stuff, Wade grins. Does Brian know that we're gonna visit him? Jubilee asks. I thought that we'd surprise him, Betsy replies. I just hope that he's over the threats of bodily harm, Wade says. Oh, Brian isn't one to hold a grudge, Betsy replies. Not often. So who exactly is your brother? Typhoid asks. You ever hear of Brain Braddock? Wade asks. Typhoid just shrugs her head. Captain Britain? Still nothing. Forget it. Betsy sighs. *****, Braddock Manor, later still. The dead mobile pulls up outside the swanky-looking family home of the Braddocks. Nice digs your brother's got, Wade says. Do you think we can scab some money off him? Betsy just shakes her head and walks up to the door. Before she can knock, however, the door is swung open and she is grabbed in a hug. Nice to see you to Megan. Betsy winces. It's great to see you, Betsy. Megan. Betsy's sister-in-law grins. You're just in time. Dinner's almost ready. Megan opens the door wide to let everyone in. And you've brought friends. Megan continues. How nice. Even if it is a former member of the Brotherhood and a psychotic schizophrenic. Gee, don't I feel welcome? Typhoid whispers in Pyro's ear. Megan then leads them into the kitchen. Brian Braddock walks over from the oven and holds his twin sister in a huge hug. I'm glad to see you, Bets, Brain grins. Bree. Betsy says. I do need to breath, you know. Brian lets his sister go and looks at the guests. Low Wade. He says. Brian, Wade grins, scooping him up into a big hug. Nice to see ya, bro. You can let me down anytime you want, Wade, Brian says. Oh right. Sorry. Betsy then looks over at Megan and notices a rather large bulge in her belly. Megan, you're. Yup. Pregnant, fraid so. Betsy then turns to Brian and points an accusing finger at him. How the hell did this happen? Brian just looks aback at his sister, part scared, part amused. Are you responsible for this? Betsy asks. What kind of stupid bloody question is that? Brian shoots back. Haven't you ever heard of protection? There is an awkward silence in the air as everyone waits for Betsy to go mental. Fortunately enough, it doesn't happen as the purple-haired telepath grabs her sister-in-law in a hug. This is such great news. Any ideas for a name yet? I was thinking of calling her Betsy, Megan replies. What do you mean her? Brian asks. It could be a boy. Excuse me, dear. Megan replies. But who's the empathic metamorph? Brian quickly changes the subject. So who's ready for dinner? After dinner everybody has now split up for the night. Betsy and Brian are showing Jubilee the British clothes stores. Angelo went along because Jubilee press ganged him into carrying her bags while Typhoid and Pyro hit the pubs. That only leaves Wade, who volunteered to look after the heavily pregnant Megan. Wade walks in with a bowl of soapy water and a peanut butter and strawberry sandwich for Megan. There ya go, Meg. Wade says, fluffing up Megan's pillow. Your sandwich and a nice bowl of soapy water to soak your feet in. You're too kind, Wade. Megan replies. But there's really no need for all this. I can cope for myself 1 foot. Ah pish. Wade grins. I volunteered to look after you, so I'm gonna look after you. Wade then turns to turn on the TV. He turns as he hears the sound of a plate breaking. Wade. Megan says, with a somewhat urgent tone in her voice. The baby's here. Yeah, I know it is. Wade replies. It's in your tummy. I don't mean it like that. Megan winces. The baby's coming. Amigod. Wade shrieks. The baby's coming. What am I gonna do? I don't even know first aid. He then proceeds to runs around like a headless chicken. Amigod, oh my god, oh my god. He stops as he hears Megan yell in pain. It's alright. I'm here. I'll get you to a doctor. No time. Megan winces again through another contraction. It'll have to be born here. Wade gulps nervously as he bends down to tend to the baby. Meanwhile, Betsy and Brain have just finished showing Jubilee and Angelo around the clothes stores. Jubilee gets out of the car with Angelo close behind her laden with bags. Betsy and Brian follow. Then they hear the sound of a woman screaming. Megan. Brain gasps. The baby's here, Whitehouse-ek, Jubilee says. We only saw you guys a month or two ago. How can Megan be giving birth already? The maternity cycle of Megan's people is faster than ours. Betsy answers. The baby is ready to be born in 9 weeks instead of months. They all look as Brian drops what he is doing and runs towards the house. They all follow behind. The living room. Brian runs through the door just in time to see an exhausted Megan lying in the couch with a weary smile on her face while Wade stands beside her with a blanket-wrapped package in his arms. Is everything all right? Brian asks, running to his wife's side. Everything's wonderful, darling. Megan replies. Betsy's perfectly healthy. How can you know? Brian asks. Don't mess with an empath. Megan smiles weakly. I just know. Here's your daughter. Wade whispers. Be careful, she's sleeping. He then passes baby Betsy, who hold her in their arms and look lovingly at their newly born daughter. Then there is a dull thump as Wade passes out. Much later, Megan is now laid up in bed asleep with baby Betsy sleeps beside her in her crib. Hank McCoy, who has just flown in from Westchester, has just finished checking up on the baby. He packs away his things and turns to the proud father. I may not be an expert on otherworld babies, but I would say that your daughter is perfectly healthy. Thank you, Henry. Brian says, shaking the fuzzy blue doctor's hand. Maybe you should be thanking Mr. Wilson. Hank replies. He was the one that did all the work. Thank you, Wade. Brian says. Megan and I thank you with all our hearts. Aw shucks. Wade blushes. 'Twas nothing. Wade then turns to the window as he wipes a tear away from his eye. Now if you'll excuse me, I have something in my eye. Later, still after saying a good night to the happy parents, Betsy and Wade retire to their rooms. Betsy rolls over in bed and places her chin on Wade's shoulder. That was a wonderful thing you did, Wade. Betsy says. I'm sure that you'll be a wonderful father. Really? Wade asks, rolling around so he is face to face with his girlfriend. Oh yeah. Betsy answers. As a matter of fact, why don't we get started on making a baby of our own? You're incorrigible. Wade grins. You know you like it cute buns. Betsy replies, leaping onto him. Dark jaded Rose, it's fun when Wade gets humiliated, isn't it? Enjoy. Quote of the day, in my opinion you're as guilty as a puppy sitting next to a pile of poo. Lieutenant George. Blackadder goes forth. Somewhere in Paris, Wade Wilson is walking along the Paris streets arm in arm with his girlfriend Betsy Braddock. God, I hate France. Wade sighs. Betsy cocks a curious brow at her boyfriend's comments. Why's that, love? Well, they refuse to talk English for a start. I didn't come to France to speak freakin' French. Who would willingly eat frogs' legs and snails anyway? And don't even get me started on the crapping in a whole bit. Betsy just smiles good-naturedly at Wade's ranting and continues walking along the street. I'm parched. Betsy says, stopping outside a random cafe. Shall we stop and have a drink? I've gotta say one thing about the French though, Wade says. They know how to make their pastries. Betsy sits down at a table and orders 2 coffees and some random pastries. Wade just rubs his hands in anticipation. How are we going to get in contact with Cyrene anyway? Betsy asks. Easy bets. Wade replies. She's a member of X Corp, right? In the ad, it said all we have to do is think of an X, and they'd come running. The banks of the Seine. Typhoid Mary and St. John Allardyce are walking along the banks of the Seine. A random flower seller continues to bother John to buy flowers. Typhoid shoots a glare at her. The seller lets out a scream, as her flowers are set alight. Typhoid and John, however, just walk along laughing their heads off. That'll teach her, Typhoid grins. Have I ever told you that you're my kinda woman? John asks. Not often enough. Typhoid replies jokingly. They stop beside yet another flower seller. Instead of setting fire to this one, John steps up and buys a pretty-looking bouquet. He then gives it to Typhoid with a charming smile. Oh, thank you, John. Typhoid grins, hugging him. They're so pretty. That's one thing that I'd never thought I'd hear you say, Typh. John grins. Pretty, kinky maybe, but never pretty. What can I say? Typhoid replies. I'm going soft. Random clothes store. Jubilee breezes out of a random clothes store with Angelo following behind her, struggling to carry all her purchases. Jubes, are you sure that you need all this stuff? Angelo asks. You can't come to Paris without visiting the clothes stores, Jubilee replies. Angelo mutters random Spanish curse as he struggles with the bags. Jubilee stops outside yet another shoe store. Ooh, I like those ones, Jubilee says. Come on, Angelo, we're going in. Not just yet, Jubes. Angelo groans, sitting down. I need to catch my breath. Let's just stop and have a coffee, yeah? Jubilee sighs as she opens up her purse and throws Angelo a few bills. You stop here while I go in and buy some shoes, she says. Angelo watches as Jubilee walks into the store. He lets out a relieved sigh and leans back in his seat. Back at the cafe, Betsy quietly sips her coffee while Wade gouges on some random French pastries. You having fun there, love? She asks. No talk, eating, Wade grunts, shoving a croissant in his mouth. Betsy just shrugs and starts reading through a newspaper. Unseen by the two of them, a tall redhead sits on the table behind them. She attracts the attention of a waiter and orders a coffee. Wade instantly recognizes her voice and looks up from his croissant. Amigod. He gasps. Teresa Rourke. How ya done, girl? The member of X-Corp Paris known as Cyrene looks up in amazement at the sight before her. Wade? Can it really be you? She asks. Alive and kicking, babe? Wade grins. Why are ye not dead? I got better, Wade replies. Betsy clears her throat to get attention. Ahem. Oh sorry, Terry. This is Betsy Braddock, my new girlfriend. We've met. Betsy replies. Oh I. Terry adds. So, ye and Wade are together then? Yup. Betsy replies. We both got brought back from the dead and ended up falling in love. You got anyone special, Terry? Wade asks. A guy? It could be a girl for all I know. I havna got anyone in particular. Terry replies. But me and Jamie are steppin' out together. You and multiple? Wade asks. You kinky minx, going out with a guy that can make copies of himself, instant orgy material. It's nothing like that, ye perv, Terry blushes, we're just friends. Sure you are. Wade smirks, and I'm the king of Sweden. Later Wade and Terry are left alone while Betsy goes to visit the little girl's room. Ye canny be serious havin' a pair o' loonies like Typhoid Mary and Pyro on your team, Terry says. They're insane. I'm not exactly the poster boy for sanity, am I? Wade counters. Point. Terry sighs, but she did pretend it'd be me that one time and seduce ye. Let bygones be bygones, I suppose, Wade replies. Wade? Yeah. Do ye ever think what would have happened if we stayed together? Terry asks. I used to. Wade replies. Before I met Betsy, but now I've got someone that loves me for the guy that I am, even if that guy is slightly insane. I wish I had a stable relationship like ye too. Terry sighs. I havna had a lasting relationship in years. What about you and Jamie? Wade asks. I dinna know. Terry replies. It's kinda weird, ye know, office romancin', all that. Me and Betsy work together. Wade replies. We're in a relationship and it doesn't affect our work. You should talk to Jamie and tell him how you feel. You never know, he might feel the same way. Wow. Terry says. That was deep. How did ye ever learn that? Simple, Wade replies. Betsy's banned me from killing, so in order to use up my spare time, I started reading psychology books. Wade and Terry look up as Betsy walks up and puts her hand on Wade's shoulder. "I'm afraid we have to go now, love," Betsy says. "We'd better get back before Jubilee squashes Angelo with all those shopping bags." Betsy turns to Terry and gives her a friendly hug. "It was nice meeting you again, Terry. We're staying at the Hotel Derriere, come and stop by whenever you want. We'd be perfectly happy to look after you." "Thanks, Betsy," Terry replies. "I might take ye up on that." As they leave, Wade turns back to Terry. "Remember what I said, talk to him." I will." With that, Wade takes Betsy's arm in his and walks along to their hotel. "Where did you ever learn to be so deep?" Betsy asks. "I read a lot of beer mats." Wade grins. "You big bloody liar," Betsy replies. "You're going soft." "Maybe so," Wade adds, "but there's one part of me that never goes soft." Betsy just grins and shakes her head good-naturedly. "You're a perv, you know that?" She grins. "You know you dig at cute buns?" Dark Jaded Rose, if you thought that the hotel name was funny, you should go back and read Chapter 9 of The N.C. Winsey Spider-Man. Todd and Felicia were drinking wine called Chateau Derriere. L1701E. Sorry, no plans for Kid Razor. I'm afraid that the Blue World Tour has already passed through their US dates. Risty, I wouldn't know much about psychology, not being a psych student and all. Who wouldn't like being with a person that could create multiples of themselves? Agent G, I'm afraid that Deadpool and the others won't be making much of an appearance this chapter because I've decided to give Jubilee and Angelo a chapter all to themselves. Quote of the day. Please allow myself to introduce myself. Austin Powers, international man of mystery. A random hotel, Venice, Italy. The doors to a random swanky hotel swing open as Deadpool and co stroll in. As usual, Wade goes up to get the room keys, leaving Betsy and the others to occupy themselves for the next minute or so. Wade walks up with the keys and everybody splits up and goes their separate ways. Wade and Betsy is unpacking her luggage while Wade phones the front desk. "Hello, I'd like to order a wake-up call at 6:15 in the morning, for every room but this one. Thank you." Wade hangs up the phone and notices Betsy's glare. "What?" he asks innocently. "I love trying new material on the road." Betsy just shrugs and finishes hanging up the rest of the clothes. "I'm going to have a shower," she says, taking off her top. "Okay," Wade replies. "I'll just sit back and occupy myself with those obscure Italian soap operas." "You never know, I might need someone to scrub my back," Betsy says with a lecherous glint in her eye. "Damn, you're one kinky British chick, ain't ya?" Wade grins. "I try." Wade follows Betsy into the bathroom and shuts the door behind them. "Oh, I've got an idea, cute buns," he says. "After the shower, why don't you wear that little purple ninja bikini number and then we could get comfortable?" Typhoid and Pyro are lying on the bed in their underwear. John has his arm around Typhoid while she has her head laid on his shoulder. "John?" "Yes, love. Have you ever thought where this relationship is going?" "Well, Betsy said that we're headin' to Athens next." "I didn't mean it like that, John," Typhoid replies. "Do you think that this is a serious relationship?" "Oh yeah, of course I do, Sheila. I do love you, ya know. And I love you too, John. But, have you ever thought about getting married?" "What? Right now?" "Oh no, sometime in the future." John breathes a sigh of relief. "Oh yeah, I plan on getting married sometime. Maybe have a few kids too." Typhoid rolls over so that she is now lying on top of John. "Correct answer, Johnny," she says, kissing him. Jubilee and Angelo. Jubilee and Angelo are walking hand in hand along the streets of Venice. Angelo turns his head and looks at his girlfriend and smiles happily. Jubilee turns her head and notices Angelo looking at her. "What?" she asks. "Have I got something on my face?" "It's nothing like that, chica," Angelo replies. "I was just thinking how lucky I am to have you as my girlfriend." "Ah, that's so sweet," Jubilee coos, hugging him tight. Angelo smiles and hugs her back. He is just about to kiss her when she breaks away from the hug. "Ooh, let's go on a gondola ride," Jubilee says, bouncing up and down excitedly. With the moment now gone, Angelo sighs and follows her to the nearest gondola stop. Later, Angelo and Jubilee are now sat in a gondola traveling along the canals of Venice. Jubilee smiles happily and cuddles up closer to Angelo. "This is so romantic, isn't it?" Jubilee sighs. "Oh yeah." Angelo agrees. "And I can't think of anyone better to spend it with." "You're such a cheeseball." Jubilee grins. She leans closer and kisses Angelo. He puts his arms around her waist and deepens the kiss. "Hey Ange." "Yeah? Do you want to go back to the hotel room later, for some alone time?" Jubilee asks. "I'm only human, Jubes." Spoil sport, Jubilee pouts. Later still, Jubilee and Angelo are now sat in a swanky-looking Venetian bistro, sipping coffee and eating pasta. I haven't tasted pasta like this since ever," Jubilee says. "I know, chica," Angelo replies. "It's pretty pricey though." "It's not like we can't afford it," Jubilee adds. Excuse me, is anybody sitting at this table?" a voice asks. "Oh no, go ahead," Jubilee replies. "The bistro's pretty full." Still immersed in her pasta and coffee, Jubilee doesn't notice the person until Angelo elbows her in the ribs. "Amigod. I know you. You used to be on that medical soap opera show. You're Mary Jane Watson Parker," the tall redhead replies. "What?" her brown-haired male companion asks. "Don't I get an introduction?" "Sorry," MJ says. "This is my husband, Peter. I'm Jubilee. This is my boyfriend, Angelo." "So what brings you to Venice, Ms. Parker?" Angelo asks. "Anniversary," MJ replies. "And please, call me MJ." "So why are you guys here?" Peter asks. "We're going on a kinda world tour with some friends of ours," Jubilee replies. "We're headin' to Athens next." "That sounds kind of expensive," MJ says. "Not really," Angelo replies. "A friend of ours recently came into a lot of money, so we're helping her spend it." Then something suddenly CS in Peter's head. "Hey, I know you guys. You work at that detective agency in downtown Manhattan." "The Blue Detective Agency?" MJ asks. "What does that stand for anyway?" "Braddock, Lee, Espinoza and Wilson," Jubilee replies. "I'm the Lee, Angelo's the Espinoza, Betsy's the Braddock and Wade's the Wilson." "Wade Wilson as in Deadpool?" MJ asks. "The one and the same," Angelo replies. "But he's dead," Jubilee finishes. "But he got better, Betsy too." "We also work with Mary Walker and St. John Allardyce," Angelo says. "Typhoid Mary and Pyro," Peter gasps. "But they're psychos?" Angelo asks. "Yeah, I know, but they're reformed now." "John hasn't burnt anything in 5 months," Jubilee says proudly. "What about the chicken that time?" Angelo asks. "That was an accident," Jubilee replies. Peter and MJ just look in amazement at the two Blue members. Back at the hotel, Jubilee and Angelo are now snuggled up together in bed. "MJ and Peter were a nice couple," Angelo says. "Oh yeah." Jubilee agrees. "It was nice of MJ to give me her autograph like that." "Did you see their faces when we mentioned Typhoid and John?" Angelo laughs. "Priceless," Jubilee giggles. Jubilee scooches closer and starts to kiss Angelo's neck. "Oh Angelo." She coos. When Angelo doesn't answer her, she looks at his face and notices that he's fast asleep. "Crap." She pouts. "I suppose that I'll just have to make use of the free hotel porn." The end.